You're listening to the Air Hug Community Podcast. Hello and welcome. My name is Judy Arizosa, and I am the host of the Air Hug Community Podcast. And if you're new here, let me just tell you what we're all about. We are a community that believes supporting each other can be wonderful, and it helps improve the lives of others as well as our life. We believe in living well, and that includes physical fitness, eating well, but also mental fitness. We believe that movement should be fun, and that eating to live better should also be fun and delicious. We have conversations and stories from guests and myself that are often inspired by the thousands of conversations I've had one-on-one with working with women over the last dozen years, but also with conversations with several of my besties with our one-on-one walks that we love to take together. So have a listen, and I'm really glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining in. Okay, welcome to episode 57. Wow. And today we're talking about convincing our brain that our body needs rest. Okay, I know that sounds counterintuitive, but the fact of the matter is, I think in this day and time, we glorify exhaustion. We glorify always going balls to the wall, when in fact, especially as Americans, when in fact that's just not really great for us. Vacations alone, like it's very unusual for Americans to take like an entire summer off and really to just tune out and chill out for more than a week or two at a time, versus like Europeans who basically do it like for the whole summer. But anyways, let's back up a little bit and talk about certain instances where we really need to convince ourselves that it's okay to rest. Okay, today I'm going to talk about two instances. One is about not working out when your body is exhausted, and the other is about giving yourself, prioritizing sleep as a healthy habit. And both of those, I think, can be abused. So let's first talk about exercise. So I know for a lot of people, getting on the exercise bandwagon as a lifestyle habit is hard. But then there's people, and there's more than a few, who once they get into this frame of mind, and I'm thinking a lot of like early middle-aged women who, and even young women who basically, I don't know if there's a term for it. I've heard some terms. I don't want to bring up any names or labels, but they get to the point where they feel like they have to exercise 6 or 7 days a week hard. And they have created this identity around exercising all the time, in this mindset about like, if I don't exercise 6 or 7 days a week, I'm not going to be fit. You know, I'm going to lose my identity. What's going to happen to me? I'm going to be flabby and all those things. That's not exactly a healthy attitude towards life. All right. In all of life, we're talking about balance, and exercise is part of that. So especially in the last year and a half where COVID has hit, a lot of people have had COVID, and some of these healthy, very, very fit people maybe have had a mild case, and I've had more than a few of them confide in me in saying they feel guilty. Here they have COVID and they feel guilty because they're not exercising. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, big red flag, okay? So for those of you who have been in that situation or have that feeling where your identity is based on something that you do, I want you to listen up, because this could be for anything. It could be for riding a bike. It could be for, something where you identify yourself by something that it is that you do, and if exercising 6 or 7 days a week, come hell or high water, is that, then that's what we're talking about today. But again, it does carry over into other things. So the thing is, I've been there. and as I've gotten older, looking back, I realize that I've been motivated by a lot of decisions that were not necessarily the best for me. So I will say that I have been that way and I've gotten on the other side of it, and I do no longer feel that my identity, my image is not based on the fact that I exercise a certain number of days per week, or that I lift a certain amount, or that I exercise or do cardio a certain number of miles or minutes per week. But I will admit that in the past, I have been there. And what happens inevitably is a crash and a burn and a very big mental issue. And I will tell you, for me, when I've gotten into those funks, and I know other women have as well, that sometimes what they do to deal with that is even more body harm, and they will do things like overeat. And all has to do with the stress. Okay, so it's really important that you maintain a healthy balance. So as we get over, I'd like to mention, I know we talk a lot about getting older here. Okay, so in case you don't know, I work with midlife women exclusively, and we talk about changes that happen in our body. So maybe you could exercise 6 days a week when you were young and healthy being the word. So if you had a virus or a fever or some other type of illness and you had good judgment, you knew that you needed to rest until your body was better. So in the case of illness, like I said, any or all of the above, it's important to understand that all of your energy stores that you may have used for exercise now need to go to fight the illness that your body is trying to rid itself of. So we have an immune system. Normally it's fine, but when we get ill, it has to kick in and do something. And so we need the energy that we would have used for a strenuous workout to fight whatever illness we have. And we also need to sleep more because it's exhausting to our body to try and rid itself of a disease. So that's what I'm talking about. It's really important to put that as priority number one, not our vanity, not our identity, and not the belief that we can control everything. And just like the serenity prayer, it's important to recognize when there are things that we cannot control. So remember the serenity prayer. Grant me, I'm just paraphrasing here because I usually say it out of order. It's however it pops into my head. Grant me the wisdom to control the things that I can control, and the grace to forget about the things I can't control, and the judgment to know the difference. Now, I know that's very much paraphrased, but those are the 3 points. Control what's within our control, accept what we cannot control, and have the judgment to know the difference. So we need to know, first of all, judgment when it is that we're not healthy enough to exercise. And then we need to just give ourselves grace and know that it's not going to be the end of the world if we miss one workout, if we miss a week of workouts, if our body needs us to miss 3 weeks of workouts to get over an illness, so be it. That needs to be done. In the long run, we're going to be better off. The more that we fight that and try to push through workouts, the longer it's going to take our body to recover and get better, and we're just going to be spinning our wheels and taking really 3 steps backward for what we think is 3 steps forward by trying to get through a workout. Chances are you're not going to do well during that workout, and you're going to be so exhausted that the virus or whatever it is you're fighting is going to be winning, and your body is not going to be winning. So I want you to take that into big consideration. All right. So again, that might feel like 2 steps backwards, but in reality, that's 2 steps forward by taking stock of your entire body and knowing when it's time to rest. All right, now number 2, I want to talk about this thing called sleep. So many people wear lack of sleep like a badge of, again, that's their identity. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I've heard people say on vacation or when talking about, climbing the ladder in their own business or in their job to maybe progress. Well, that's not going to do you any good because, frankly, if that's the way you're thinking, dead is going to probably come a lot sooner than what you think. Or maybe dead's not going to come sooner, but your quality of life is going to be in the pits. So, people, sleep is important. You know, people laugh at me because I love to go to bed at 9 o'clock, but we get up early. Right now we have a cat who's 17 years old. Okay, Rocky, I love you. You're the sweetest thing. But Rocky wakes us up starting sometimes at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and he is relentless. Who would think that like a 9-pound cat could be so relentless? But when we got him, he was a kitten, and we had a whole family full of people, and he could go around and sleep with anyone he wanted. So we kind of would spread it out, and it wasn't that big a deal. But now he sleeps exclusively with my husband and I, and it really is getting into our sleep. So if I were to ever have a cat, and I would tell you, if you're ever going to have a cat, from the beginning, don't let him sleep with you. But this little guy is 17 years old, and he's starving for attention. But so be it. So anyways, we go to bed early, and we try to get the best sleep we can before he wakes up. And I do try to like throw him out the window during the day and make him get tired. My philosophy is if he gets tired during the day, if we could flip his circadian rhythm, maybe he could become a daytime cat instead of a nocturnal one. I don't know. You think that'll work? Anyway, point being is it's important to know that your body needs sleep. And I got to get a sleep expert in here. I'm not an expert, but one of the things that I have been using for the past several months is an Oura ring, and I talked about this on episode, let me look, oh, I can't finding it, the episode on apps, the best apps. Where is it? Hold on. I don't know, but it's somewhere. It might be in the late 40s. It might be episode 50. I think it's episode 50, the 3 best apps for fitness. So I've been using this Oura ring for several months. And what I like about it is it actually gathers, it's a ring, kind of like along the lines of a Fitbit, but a ring. But it grabs data from you every minute that you wear it, and it compiles it. And it can tell your respiration rate, your heart rate, your body temperature, how much you flail about when you're asleep. So my favorite thing about this is the sleep score. And it talks about deep sleep versus light sleep versus REM sleep and restlessness. And all these things play into the quality of your sleep. But the fact of the matter is we actually have to get in bed at a decent hour and get some sleep in order to try and make this work. So another episode I will talk about, I want to get a sleep expert on. So if any of you know a sleep expert, let me know. I've done a little reading on it, but I have not really looked into a guest at this point, but it's on the list. Anyway, today we're just talking about people. We have to prioritize sleep. And I do know one of the things that's really important that I've read, and I'm just looking through this app and what's going on, and it gives us little hints like we got to get off our screens early in the evening because that actually helps us wind down better at night. And here's something that's really interesting. The amount of time it takes you to fall asleep can actually talk about like how tired or overtired you are. Normally it'll take in the 15 to 20 minute range to actually get into a deep sleep. And it's funny because I think if it takes me 20 minutes to fall asleep that there's something wrong with me. But if it's taking you like 3 minutes or less, I forget if it's 3 or 5. I'll have to look on my Oura app. Actually, you know what? I've got my phone right here. I got to just look this up because I don't want to. All right, sleep. Let's talk about, I think it's called latency. Sleep latency is the amount of time, here it is, I'm reading right off the app. It takes you to fall asleep at night. Sleep latency is only shown for your longest sleep period. Ideally, you should fall asleep within 15 to 20 minutes of lying down. Falling asleep in less than 5 minutes can be a sign of overtiredness. So, and actually last night I got the little sign. I fell asleep in 3 minutes. I think I was overtired. I think so. Anyways, I'm taking a rest day today. I'm very happy about it. But I think probably I should have had another rest day this week based on latency. So that's really cool, isn't it? So if you're hitting the pillow and you're knocked out immediately, you're a little bit too tired that day. So just keep that in mind. So anyways, the whole gist of this is we need to take on the mindset that rest days and prioritizing sleep are very important for our body. We've got to get out of that habit of looking like martyrs, like, oh, I work out 7 days a week and I only sleep 4 hours a night and I'm fine. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Can we please stop that, people? All right? And I'm going to tell you what, if you do stop that, you're going to thank yourself because your quality of your waking hours is going to be better overall. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you grabbed a little bit of wisdom from this, and I want to thank you for popping into the Air Hug Community Podcast. Please check in every single Tuesday for a new episode, and you know I'm going to ask you, do you know what I'm going to ask you? Please, pretty please, with veggies on top, because I love veggies. All right, pretty please with red wine on top. Subscribe to this podcast and leave a review on Apple, because Apple just loves when they see positive reviews. So I'm not afraid to say I think this is a 5-star podcast, and if you would give it a 5-star review, I would be very grateful. So thank you, and ta-ta for now.